This is the Brighton Star 0.95 35mm, and this lens absolutely blew my mind. It's incredible, really. For those of you that are going to cut out of this video, just know this of this lens. I'm going to say right now, it's an incredible value. The build quality is superb. Yes, I'm even going to compare this to my $6,200 Leica Summilux lens. Now, is it as good as the Summilux? No, it's not. But it will actually surprise you, and shot at 0.095, it's incredibly sharp, which is amazing. And not only that, but even at its closest focusing distance, which is very close. Push the camera all the way up and get as close as we can, which is not very far at all. I mean, you can get extremely close. Check this out. And we're not even zoomed in here. It's not without flaws, but for less than $200, this lens is incredible. Brightin Star actually reached out to me and said, "Hey, Tony, we've got a lens we'd like for you to try out and do a review video on." And I simply replied, "If you want to send me the lens, go for it. The only way I'm going to do a video, though, is if I like the lens." They simply replied, "The lens is on its way. We're looking forward to seeing the video." They were that confident, and for good reason. Now, as soon as I opened up the package, I was shocked at just the overall appearance of the lens. If you've seen this channel before, you know aesthetics is a big deal to me. There's just something about the cameras, how they're made, how they look, how they feel. That's important to me. So if that's important to you, this lens has it covered. It is an APS-C lens. Now, I believe that it's a 1.5 times crop factor, which puts this lens at about a 52mm. You can shoot it, of course, on full frame. Now, this is the silver version. It is available only on the Fuji X mount as of right now, I believe. It came with a metal lens cap. You can tell that the machining, the precision is just fantastic. When it comes to the aperture, we start at 0.95 and end at 16. Now, one thing I did find a little odd about the aperture is because it starts at 0.95, it's missing a few like f11. I'm assuming the dot is 5.6, then we have 8, and it goes straight to f16. It does have a nice dampened click to it. It's almost a little too firm for my liking, but I believe that's done by design so that you can't accidentally bump it out of place. It's got 12 aperture blades, so as you stop it down, it maintains that rounded bokeh ball shape. The dampening on the focus, to me, is perfect. As far as the mount goes, this is not a weather-sealed lens, and it is all manual, so if you enjoy manual focus lenses like I do, you're going to love this lens. So there are two things you need to do to make sure you're set up to use this manual lens, and that is set up the shutter to be able to be triggered without a lens. And secondly, you'll want to make sure that you have a focused assist so that you can focus it very easily. I have the rear dial set up. This is how you're going to set it up. Just hold the display button on the back so your menu options pop up for your function settings. We're going to scroll down until we get to the rear dial. Head on over to page 2. Make sure you get a focus check. To magnify, push the dial in. And you do have that option of 2 different magnifications so that you can get super tight in there if you like. Get your focus. Say we're going to focus on the knurling on the rear dial there. And let's take a shot. You'll need to set the shutter up so that it can activate with the manual lens. So go to your menu option, head on down to the wrench icon. I'm going to go down to button dial settings. You want to scroll down here to where it says shoot without lens. Make sure that's enabled if it's not. Now, with it being an all manual lens, you do have to work a little bit to get a picture in focus, especially at 0.95. That's just such a razor thin, shallow depth of field. you're not going to hit it all the time. But I found that as I used that focus assist on the camera and shot a little bit more, it became easier. One of the things that shocked me about this lens is there's almost no vignetting whatsoever. I don't have any lenses with as little vignetting as this lens. And I'm talking about shot wide open at 0.95. Very minimal distortion. Also, it has great contrast and great colors straight out of camera. Now, if you want to see the recipe that I'm using for my camera, I believe it's one of my custom recipes. I'll go ahead and put it in the body of the description below. So if you like the colors of the photos, you can go ahead and set that up as well. To me, this lens has a beautiful bokeh. I didn't find it distracting whatsoever. The transition from your focus to your out of focus is just buttery smooth. The bokeh balls are very nice. As far as the lens flare goes, there is some lens flare. Now, sometimes the flares are totally acceptable and may even look good, and at other times we just get this hideous little flare off to the side. As soon as you stop down just a little, it's gone. I did go out at night here and just set it up just so we can get a little bit of lens flare with the car lights coming by, and just so you can see how that looks and also see how the bokeh looks as well. All right, let's go ahead and compare the $6,200 Leica Summilux to the $200 Brighton Star 0.95. All right, so in this shot, we've got the Brighton Star focused in on the Summilux. Let's go ahead and take the shot. All right, we're going to use the Leica mount to Fuji X mount to put the Leica lens on the Fuji. Keep in mind that this is a full frame versus an APS-C. And I was kind of shocked to see that I actually had to pull the camera back a little bit so the Brighton Star was able to get closer. And before the battery dies, let's just go ahead and fire off this image. You can see that we are focused. Let's take it. The Brighton Star image is on the left, the Leica is on the right. I'm curious to know what you think in the comments. Let me know, which image do you prefer? Pretty damn close, huh? So who is this lens for? This lens is for anybody that wants to have the manual shooting experience. Shooting a 0.95, just blowing out the background on anything. I think this lens could honestly be used for product photography. I set up just a drill at work and just laid this thing down on the tabletop and took an image. And you see the drill and nothing else, and the transition is just so smooth. Someone that wants to get kind of artistic using that blown out background, night photography, taking images of anything that doesn't move too fast because it is hard to focus at 0.95. Really, anyone that wants to have fun shooting, this lens brings a lot of fun. And for less than $200, I don't think you're going to get any better than this. Now, I have set up an affiliate link below in the description, so if you do purchase the lens, feel free to use that link. It supports the channel, and if you do use it, let me just say thank you so much. For those of you that have stuck around to the end of the video, let me say thank you for sharing your life minutes with me. I appreciate you greatly. Check out this video right here. Give me a subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I'll see you in the next one.